Hey guys, and welcome to my official 1 to 99 runecrafting guide. In this video I'm going to show you guys how to get your runecrafting level up as efficiently as possible and make a lot of money in the process. This guide is going to be a framework that will lead to a lot of sub-guides that will go into more detail in each method, so if you're looking for a specific runecrafting method, I will have it linked in the description and in the video when I talk about it. Alright, so starting off, this is the index of the guide, and we're going to go into some prerequisites and recommended items, different things you want to have done before you even start runecrafting. And then starting off levels, level 1 through 24, I'm going to show you a couple quests that you can do to get your runecrafting level up pretty quickly and get past the low levels. And then from there on, I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you can get to 99. The first is money making, where you're going to be making a lot of money, of course. The faster XP route, you're still going to be making money if you go all the way to 99, but it's going to be a bit of loss at the start to get yourself some fast XP, but not as great profit. And then the middle ground route is you're going to be making some decent money and some decent XP, but not maximized in either way. It's going to be sort of middle ground, obviously, and it's a very decent way to go also. And I'm going to end off the video with some advanced tips, different things you can do to really maximize your experience per hour, small things and some things that are a bit more significant, but things for really players that are focusing on efficiency and want to be getting the absolute maximum that they can. So I don't think there's any more need for introductions, let's just get right into it. So the first things that you're going to need to know about runecrafting, the prerequisites before you even start runecrafting, these are the most important things that you should already have done. You want to have a decent agility level, and the reason for this is because no matter what you're runecrafting, you're going to be running. And the higher your agility level, the slower your run goes down and the faster it restores. So that means that the higher your agility level, the less money you're going to end up spending on energy potions and the more efficiently you're going to be able to runecraft. If you are going for max, you might as well just get your agility level to 99 before even starting runecrafting, because it's just more efficient to do that and you'll be getting faster runecrafting XP. The second very, very important thing to have is a decent combat level, and mostly just in defense and hit points, but you do need attack and strength a bit to get your rune pouches, but mainly you need decent defense and decent hit points whenever you're doing abyss runecrafting and also crafting astral runes. And it's very hard to runecraft without any combat stats. You can do it as a level 3, but most of the decent methods of runecrafting are not available for level 3s. And this is not necessarily true of pures. There are pures that can runecraft in the abyss, but it is really good to have high defense and hit points, and most players it's worth it to get defense and hit points unless you're actually limiting your account on purpose. So definitely have your agility level at least I'd say at least 60 or 70 if you're going to be going for a high runecrafting level. And as far as your combat stats, it would be definitely good to have at least 60 to 70 defense and hit points. Alright, so a few items that I recommend that you get before you start runecrafting is some decent weight reduction gear, which can include spottier capes, boots of lightness, penance gloves, and also the graceful outfit. And also, you most definitely want to get yourself some rune pouches. These are very important for runecrafting, and I'll basically say they're a necessity. Weight reduction gear is definitely a good thing to have because you always want to have your weight at 0 or below to maximize your run energy. You're also going to need pure or rune essence depending on what runes you're crafting, and you're always going to want to be using stamina potions. And stamina potions are better to use than energy potions or super energy potions. They cost a little bit more, but they end up actually costing less because you use a lot fewer doses of them than you would of energy or super energy potions. And they also make it so you don't have to drink nearly as many doses of potions. Alright guys, so the first thing you want to do when you're starting off runecrafting is complete the Abyss mini quest. And the Abyss is a place where you're going to be doing a lot of your runecrafting, and it also gets you some runecrafting experience to start off, and it has no runecrafting level requirement. So in order to complete this mini quest, you do have to have the Rune Mysteries quest completed, so if you haven't done Rune Mysteries, definitely do that. It's a very simple quest and it's free to play, and most of you guys have probably already done it. But after that, you want to complete the Abyss mini-quest by talking to the Mage of Zamorak. He wanders in level 4 to 7 wilderness, just north of Edgeville, so you can walk up to him, talk to him, and he'll tell you to meet him in the Varrock Chaos Temple. Once you complete this mini-quest, you'll get 1,000 runecrafting XP, and that'll get you from level 1 to level 9 runecrafting. And the next thing you want to do is complete the Eyes of Gluffrey quest. This quest will get you from level 9 to level 24 runecrafting, which is really nice, and it means you can skip over doing any earth runes and go right to fire runes. This quest probably won't take you very long, probably between 30 and 60 minutes at most, and it will get you a lot of runecrafting XP, which really speeds up the lower levels. Alright, so we're going to start off with the money-making route, because I know that a lot of players are really interested in runecrafting to make a lot of money, because at the moment runecrafting probably, well most definitely actually, is the most profitable skill in Oldschool RuneScape by a long shot. Doing 99 runecrafting, no matter what, you're going to make hundreds of mils. So the first method that you're going to be doing for runecrafting is actually crafting fire runes, and with fire runes you're actually going to lose a bit of money, and even if you're going for the money making method, it's still definitely worth it to craft fire runes until 44, because before 44 there's really not any method that makes any kind of decent money, so it's best to just get your runecrafting up to 44, and once you get 44 you can make nature runes, and that's where you start making decent money. So in order to craft fire runes, what you're going to need is of course a fire tiara or a fire talisman. Tiara is always better because you can have it on your on your person. You don't have to use the talisman on the altar, and you don't have to use the extra inventory space. And use as many pouches as you can. I'm assuming that you only have 2 pouches right now, or maybe even 1. You unlock your medium pouch at level 25 Runecrafting, so once you get 25 you can start using your medium pouch. And what you want to do is you want to have a ring of dueling, and you always want to make sure that your weight is below 0. And that's the only thing you really need to worry about. Make sure you have some stamina potions too, as always. But what you're going to do is you're going to start at Castle Wars, and you're just going to teleport to the duel arena, and you're going to be using lots of rings of dueling. So make sure you have at least maybe like 100 or so rings of dueling. And you're just going to run up north to the fire altar, and the mysterious runes are right here. You run up north to the fire altar, craft your fire runes at the altar, make sure you empty out your pouches, and then you're going to teleport back to Castle Wars, bank, and repeat. And that's all you're going to do for fire runecrafting until you get to level 44 runecrafting, and then we're going to move on to the next method of runecrafting. So from level 44 onwards you can start crafting nature runes, and you're going to be doing nature runes until level 54 runecrafting. But what you want to do is make sure that you have a decent setup that maximizes your defense bonuses while also keeping your weight at 0 or below. Because you always want to have your weight at 0 or below no matter what, because it maximizes your run energy. But when you're going through the Abyss, which you will be for crafting nature runes, you are going to be taking some damage, so you want to make sure that you have a decent setup. This is the one that I've found works the best for me. I've got the graceful legs and the dragonhide body. If you have a lower range level, just use whatever dragonhide body you can, and this is really the best setup that you can have. And the most important thing about this is to have glories in your bank. You want to have about a full inventory of glories, or as many as you can afford to do this, because the more glories you have, the less often you have to go and recharge them. And you can have a glory mounted in your house, but it's a lot less efficient. It makes your runs a lot longer, and you're better off just buying some glories or runecrafting with one in your house until you have enough money to buy glories, because they will speed up your XP quite a bit. And what you're going to want to do is just go through the Abyss, craft your nature runes, and then once you get to level 50 runecrafting, make sure you start using your large pouch to be getting a bit more experience. I will have a guide on doing Abyss nature runs a bit more efficiently, so the annotation link for that will be on the screen if you want to check it out. But for now, I'm going to move on to the next method to keep this video at a decent time length, and the next method is going to be law runes. Alright, so now that you're at 54 runecrafting, you can start making some law runes, and law runes at the moment are at a higher price than nature runes. And if you're watching this guide far in the future from when I've posted it, make sure that you check on the prices of law runes and nature runes, because they can fluctuate. But the reason that I'm listing law runes right now is because at the moment law runes are at a higher price than nature runes, and they have been for quite a while. So obviously that means better profit, because they're about the same amount that you can craft per hour. And what you're going to want to make sure you have is, of course, a law tiara, and you want to make sure that you don't have anything else on you, especially basically armor and weapons, because you're going to be going on to Intrana, and the monks in Intrana do not allow any kind of armor or weapons. So you want to make sure that you just have the least that you really need. So you want to have your spot or your cape, your boots of lightness, just to keep your weight below 0. You might not even need both of those, just depending on what items you use. It doesn't really matter as long as your weight is below 0. You're going to be fine. And what you want to make sure that you have is always a ring of dueling and logs. And the reason you want logs is because you're most likely going to be using the balloon method, which I'll show you guys. You do have to complete the Enlightened Journey quest to be able to do this, so definitely do that quest if you plan to craft law runes. Now you can craft law runes through the Abyss, and it is slightly faster than crafting through Intrana. And as you'll see, the monk will search you the first time, and then after that you don't have to go through that dialogue. But the reason that a lot of people don't craft law runes through the Abyss is because in order to do it efficiently, you're going to need pickaxes, and you can't actually take a pickaxe onto Intrana. So if you want to do it, you have to buy a whole bunch of bronze pickaxes and then drop a pickaxe each run. So just have a bunch in your bank, take one out each run and drop it before you go through the actual rift, which makes it a little bit complicated, and the increase in XP per hour is pretty small. So unless you're really trying to get the fastest XP possible, then it's not really worth the hassle and everything like that. But if you do have a friend that's willing to buy you bronze pickaxes and then you can pay them for them, then it probably is worth the time. But for the most part, you're probably just going to be doing the balloon method. It's pretty simple, and it is pretty relaxing to do, because as you noticed at the beginning, you actually can click north, and that'll bring you pretty much all the way around. And you'll be making some pretty decent profit doing law runes, and you'll be making about the same XP per hour as if you were doing nature runes. Alright, so from level 59 onwards, you're going to be able to craft double cosmic runes. And at the moment, double cosmic runes are pretty good profit. Each one is worth around 150 GP at the moment. Make sure you check the prices of double cosmics before you go ahead and do them. But they are definitely better profit than law runes at the moment by a decent amount, so definitely worth doing. The XP per hour does drop a bit. You probably will be getting 2 to 3k XP per hour less than if you're doing law runes. So not as great XP, but this method is focusing on maximizing your profit, so cosmic runes really are the best way to go. So at level 59 onwards, you should be able to craft 86 cosmic runes per run, which is really nice profit. And you're going to be doing these until level 82 runecrafting, when you start crafting double astral runes. Alright, so now that you've hit 82 rune crafting, you can move on to crafting double Astral Runes. And double Astral Runes are really good for XP and profit. Right now, Astral Runes are at a very high price. They're reaching up to points of about 150 GP each, which is very high. Depending on when you watch this video, they will be at different prices, so make sure you check in on how much they are. If you're really going for profit, sometimes it might be better to actually not do Astral Runes, but the XP per hour is really good. It can get up to 30k an hour or even more, which is really, really good, and they still make very good profit once you get to doubles. So the reason that Astrals are so nice is because the trip is very short, and what you always want to do is just make sure that you have Law Runes in your inventory, and use Telegroup Moon Clan, because Telegroup Moon Clan gets you a little bit closer to the teleport to the bank than using the regular Moon Clan teleport. And you just want to bank here, deposit your runes, and fill up your pouches. And you'll notice that I'm only using 3 pouches, even though obviously if you're 82 rune crafting you have your giant pouch, but it's best to just use your giant, your large, and your medium pouches, because the trips are so short that using your 4th pouch to open a second bank screen ends up being a waste of experience, and it's faster to just use the 3 pouches and carry a few fewer rune essence per run, but overall getting faster experience. And you'll notice that I'm wearing full graceful right now. That's just to maximize your run, because the full graceful does have a special set effect, which makes it so that when you're standing still, your run will restore 30% faster, which does make a small difference when you're rune crafting. So that's all you really need to know. Make sure your defense bonuses are still decent, so a Fury and a DFS are always good, and you definitely want to have your Mud Battle Staff on, because that will give you, or just a Fire Staff of any kind, because that'll give you infinite Earth Runes for the Telegroup Moon Clan spell. And that's all you really need to know for Astral Runes. They're really good for experience and for profit, and really great way to train your rune crafting method, and a really great way to train your rune crafting. And you're going to be doing this method until level 91 rune crafting, which is the big moneymaker level. Alright, so you've made it to the big leagues of 91 plus rune crafting, and this is when you can craft double nature runes, which is when it gets really, really good for profit, and this is the most profitable way to do rune crafting. So I've already talked a bit about making nature runes, but once again, this is a setup that I use for most of it. And there is one other setup that you can use if you have full graceful, and there's another option. I don't know if one is necessarily better than the other, but if you put on your full graceful, then the graceful does have a special set effect, where if you're wearing the full graceful outfit, then it will increase your run restoration when you're standing still or walking by 30%. So when you're banking and when you're crafting runes, and when you're going through the obstacles, your run will restore 30% faster than it normally would. And as far as calculating it out, it will only save you about 1 full stamina potion every single hour. So about 4 doses of stamina potion every hour it will save you if you have a decent agility level. That's just sort of a rough estimate. So basically it'll save you under 10k per hour to wear this, and you will have to eat a lot more food. So if you have 99 defense, then definitely worth trying this out to see which works better for you. But you'll be quite fine with this setup here, and this is the one that I used for most of it. But I did do rune crafting before the set effect was added to graceful, so I don't have some great statistics on that, but you can try either one, see which one you like better. But unless you have very high defense, I wouldn't recommend using graceful, because you're probably going to spend more on the food that you have to eat to keep yourself going. So as far as crafting nature runes with doubles, it's really exactly the same. You just need to make sure obviously that you have your giant pouch also, because of course if you are 91 rune crafting, you have a giant pouch, and you will be using all 4 of your pouches for crafting nature runes. And the reason for this is that since nature rune runs are a bit longer, it's definitely worth the few extra seconds of banking time. It's not when you're crafting Astral Runes, because the runs are so short, but when you're crafting nature runes, it definitely is worth it. So I will have a link to a more in-depth rune crafting guide for nature runes in this slide, so you guys can see it if you want to. But the basic run is going to look something like this. The most important things that you want to have are of course a pickaxe, because you do need a pickaxe to get through the obstacles. If you ever see this rock, then you need a pickaxe to get through it. And you're only going to be, once again, you're only going to be going through the rocks and the agility obstacles, because those are always the closest ones to your spawn, and you want to be getting away from the monsters as quickly as possible. So once you get through there, you want to make sure that you have a decent mining and agility level. Those are very important, because if your mining or agility level is too low, then you'll take a while to get through the obstacles and you'll fail a lot more frequently. And the success rate is basically just your level plus 1%. So I'm 81 mining right now, and I have a success rate of 82% when I'm trying to go through the mining obstacles. And currently I'm level 90 agility, which means I have a 91% chance of succeeding the agility obstacles. And agility is more important than mining, and the reason for this is because you're also using agility for running, so it has sort of 2 effects on runecrafting, whereas with mining it just has 1 effect. So that's basically it for the money-making route. You're going to be doing nature runes from level 91 to 99. You're going to get around 25k experience per hour. If you're very efficient and have high agility in mining, you can get a bit higher than that. and if you're not as efficient, you may get a little bit lower than that. But that's the rough estimate that you can expect to be getting as far as XP per hour, and you will profit a massive amount. I can't give it an exact figure because nature runes are always changing in price, and so is pure essence, so you have to just keep that in mind. You can make a maximum of 6,000 nature runes per hour, so you can factor based off of that to see how much profit you're actually making. But hopefully this money making method has helped you guys, and now we're going to move on to the next section of the video, which is going to be a bit more simple, and it is the fast XP method. Alright guys, so welcome to the fast experience way to get yourself to 99 runecrafting, and the method that I'm doing right now is actually crafting lava runes. And lava runes I have a guide on, and I have it linked right here so you guys can check it out and get a lot more info on it and the real details about it. But you can start crafting lava runes from level 23 runecrafting, so you can start doing lava runes basically ASAP, but there are some requirements to do it. First, you need to have level 82 magic to cast the magic imbue spell, and you also have to have completed lunar diplomacy to be able to use lunar magics. And if you haven't done these, then there's not really any point in crafting lava runes because they won't be good XP. If you want more info on this, once again, make sure to check out my lava rune crafting guide. It's already all set out, and you'll get all the info that you need to know about it. So from level 23 onwards, you can craft lava runes, and they are the best experience because you get 10.5 experience per essence, and it's basically you can craft them at the same speed as you could craft fire runes, which the trips are very, very quick. And when you have 75 plus runecrafting, this gets up to 50k experience per hour, which is absolutely insane. But the reason that many people don't do it is because, as you can see, it is very click intensive, and also you lose money doing it. So only do this method if you're really just interested in getting your experience very high very quickly. If you're looking to profit from runecrafting, this is not the way to go, but this is the fast XP route. So if you want to do the fastest possible way to get 99 runecrafting and you have money available, then go craft lava runes. And another option is if you just want to get 91 really quickly and then from there be making really good profit, but you have some money to blow getting there, then you can do lava runes until level 91, and then from there onwards you can do nature runes and make a lot of profit back. And overall, if you do this, you will profit in the long run, because the most that this is going to cost you is between 50 and 100 mil to get 99 runecrafting, which is quite a lot, but if you craft nature runes from 91 to 99, you're going to be making several hundred mil at least. So this is the fast XP method, and this is all that you need to do. These are the fastest experience all the way from level 23 when you can start making them. But once again, do not do these unless you have 82 magic and lunar diplomacy completed. Otherwise, not worth it at all. And that's really about it. Very short and simple. That's all you need to know to be getting the fastest XP. And just make sure you check out the guide once again if you want to get more info on crafting lava runes. It goes through all the details. If you don't feel like spending quite as much money, you can just stick to fire runes and do fire runes for quite a while. And do them maybe until level 65 and you can start crafting death runes. But that leads into the last method, which is the middle ground. And in this method I'm going to show you guys sort of an average way that you could get yourself to 99. So you're not always going for the best profit, you're going for decent experience at certain times when profit isn't going to be amazing either way. And it's really a really good way to go as far as keeping yourself balanced and getting runecrafting done in a pretty decent amount of time and also making a lot of money through it. Alright, so once you've finished all of the quests relating to runecrafting, you can start crafting fire runes, and fire runes are the best way to go from the start. You want to do fire runes probably until level 50, and that's when you get your large pouch, and then from there on you can get somewhat decent XP crafting other runes also. So definitely just go craft some fire runes, and there will be an annotation link on screen to go back to the section of the video where I talk about fire runes, but I already talked about that, so moving into the next method. Alright, so now that you've got your large pouch, you can stick with fire runes until level 54, but you can go to nature runes and do them through the abyss. Annotation link will be on screen to go back to the section of the video where I talk about nature runes, as well as my more in-depth guide on crafting nature runes. But you want to craft nature runes from level 50 to level 54, and then once you hit level 54, you're going to be moving on to a bit better method as far as money. Next is law runes, and once again, annotation link on the screen to go back to the section in this video where I talk about law runes. You want to craft law runes from level 54 to level 65. And you can craft them until level 82 if you don't feel like doing Morning's End Part 2, because the next method is going to be crafting death runes through the abyss, which is a bit faster experience and pretty similar as far as profit. Alright, so once you hit level 65 runecrafting, you can actually start crafting death runes, and the only drawback to this is that you do need to have the quest Morning's End Part 2 completed, and it is a very tedious quest, and I understand if you guys don't want to particularly do that quest, but the thing that's really nice about death runes is that they are 10 experience per essence. So that means that they're about 10% faster XP per hour than crafting nature runes or law runes. So they are really good for experience, and the profit does decrease a bit, but not a huge amount. They're still worth over 200 GP each, and they fluctuate once again, so check on the pricing of them. But death runes are very good for experience, and they're a good way to get your runecrafting level up to 82 a bit quicker. And as you can see, you do spawn right on the square next to the altar, which makes it really good for getting the very fast experience. But as far as the setup, you just want to refer back to what I use for crafting nature runes through the abyss, or crafting law runes if you choose to do law runes through the abyss. Exact same setup, you're just going through a different rift, and that's really all there is to it. Next up is crafting double Astral Runes at level 82 runecrafting onwards. Now these are going to be very good for profit and experience per hour, so they're a really good way to train your runecrafting. You do have to complete the Lunar Diplomacy quest, so make sure you get that done. But I do have a more in-depth guide previous in the video on how to do Astral Runes, so make sure to click the annotation on screen now to head over to that section of the video. And for the last 8 levels from level 91 to 99, you will be crafting nature runes. The only reason you would ever not craft nature runes once you get to doubles is if you're really going for fast XP, in which case you do lava runes. But in pretty much all cases, you should craft nature runes from level 91 onwards, because they are amazing for profit and they are pretty good for experience too. Around 25k experience per hour, and depending on nature rune prices, they are often over 1,000,000 GP per hour, which is absolutely amazing. And getting to 99 runecrafting from 91 doing double nature runes is going to make you hundreds of mils. Hard to say exactly because prices do fluctuate, but usually between 300 and 400 mil is how much you'll make off of 91 to 99 runecrafting, which is amazing profit. So that's the middle ground route, and that's the end of all the different routes that I show you guys. And I would recommend that you guys just sort of piece together whichever way you want to do runecrafting. Choose whatever methods that you like and throw out whatever methods you don't like. This is just pretty much every single runecrafting method worth doing at all. Alright guys, welcome to the last segment of the video, and this is where I'm going to show off a few different tips just for general runecrafting, things that will help you out to speed up your XP per hour by a little bit for pretty much every method of runecrafting. So first of all, I'm sure you guys have noticed throughout the video that my mouse movements don't seem very natural when I'm withdrawing essence from the bank. And the reason for that is because I'm using mouse keys, which is a program that's on any Windows computer, and you can get it set up. I do have a guide on how to set up your mouse keys, which I'll link right now, so you guys can head over and check out how to do that. And basically what it means is that if you right click with your mouse, you can then use the 2 button on your number pad and then the 5 button on your number pad to click. And if you do that quickly, you can withdraw from the bank, you can deposit into the bank very quickly, and it makes it so that your banking will go a lot faster. So that's a really nice way to speed up your XP. A lot of people that do runecrafting for a while start using mouse keys because it really makes it more relaxing. You don't have to move your mouse and make sure and end up clicking inaccurately sometimes and stuff like that, which is really helpful. Next thing on the list is actually a program called ScreenMarkers, and this is this right here. This is ScreenMarkers, and if you just Google ScreenMarkers, you can get a link to it, and it's just a free program. It's completely safe. I've used it for many years and no problems at all. And what ScreenMarker allows you to do, if I go into my bank, what a lot of times I have set up when I'm runecrafting is I have it set to a rectangle, and I'll set a rectangle around my essence and around my potions. And what this does is when you're running towards the bank, you already know where to put your mouse when you're heading to the bank. So say I'm out here, I'm running towards the banker, and I already have my mouse set out ready in the right spot to withdraw stuff from the bank. So that's really nice, and you can use ScreenMarkers for lots of skills besides runecrafting, but it really helps out with the banking and everything like that. Next up is a pretty small one, but it's something that can help out if you're not doing abyss runs. If you have a high enough magic level to cast the NPC contact spell, which I believe is level 67 magic, then you can actually repair your pouches remotely by contacting the Dark Mage. And the reason that I'm actually here is because if you claim this Abyssal Book from talking to the Dark Mage, then you will only have to click through 1 or 2 dialogue boxes rather than several more to repair your pouches by talking to the Dark Mage. So if you're using NPC contact, then it is actually definitely better to have this in your bank. So just go and claim the Abyssal Book and keep it in your bank. And that's another thing, just in general, NPC contact spell is very useful if you're doing things like lava runes or fire runes, or even law runes where you're not going to the abyss. You can NPC contact when your pouches become degraded and repair them remotely. As long as you're on lunar magics and you have at least level 67 magic, you can do this, and it's really helpful. Last up is my pouch arrangement in my inventory. So you'll notice that I always have my pouches in these 4 squares, and the reason being is that if I craft my runes, I'll show you guys, when you right click here, a lot of people tend to just use mouse keys to drop down to this one and then drop down this one, but as you see with these 2 pouches, these ones in the bottom spots, if I keep them here, then the top left click option after I right click is actually empty, not fill. And that's because it reaches the bottom of the game window and it pushes it up a bit. So if I start here and left click and then I right click, I can left click right away and empty the pouches really quickly. So I'll show you quicker in the next one like this, and you already have both your pouches emptied really quickly. So it's really nice to have your pouches arranged that way. A lot of people do have them just arranged up at the top, which makes them a little bit closer to the bank. You can choose whatever you want, but if you do this, you probably are going to want to use mouse keys to empty your pouches, and you can't use mouse keys for multiple different drop-down lengths, and it gets a bit complicated. So I just really like to keep my pouches in these 4 spots down here, and this is what I've always done, and it makes it so you can very easily empty your pouches without losing any ticks and without using mouse keys. Alright guys, that's going to about wrap it up for this video. I hope I've answered all your questions, and if you still have anything you're really wondering, be sure to leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to respond. If this guide has helped you out, feel free to leave a like, it really helps me out, and if you want to see more guides and progress videos from me in the future, be sure to hit that subscribe button. That's all from me for now guys, good luck with runecrafting, have fun, and I'll see you guys soon with a new video.